Hello everyone, this is Dr. Boris with Aplifnerous Media, and today I have a special segment. With Empower Your Mind, I'd like to present to you a special segment called Iliad Stories from the Unstoppable Book of I Can, written by myself. Number one character who's going to come out of this book is an inspiration. He's an angel, and he has taught many how to be in the mode of I Can. He is the intentional, unstoppable, resilient person who has taught many to be inspired, to be hardworking, to achieve great things, and to become a better version of yourself tomorrow compared to today. I present to you the Iliad story of Tony Robbins. The Iliad of Tony Robbins, From Darkness to Light and the Power of Mantra. In the land of dreams where shadows creep, a young man, Tony Robbins, would often weep. Though taller than most, handsome and grand, he carried a weight he could not withstand. Broad of shoulder, strong of frame, his presence alone would spark a flame. With eyes that burned like stars of old, but in his heart the shadows took hold. He wandered far from town to town, wearing the face of a hidden frown. "Is this all?" he asked in pain. "Is life just a never-ending strain?" But deep inside there grew a storm. His mind grew dark, his heart forlorn. The weight of life upon him pressed, and Tony fell into a deep unrest. The light once bright began to dim. The world grew cold and closed in on him. He sat alone, in silence deep. In the depth of sorrow he could only sleep. His dreams were filled with doubt and fear. Is there a purpose? Why am I here? The spark of hope, it seems to fade. Tony lost, by darkness swayed. Weeks turned to months, and still he stayed in a prison of mind where his shadows played. He could not see the path ahead, only the walls of despair he tread. But one cold night beneath the stars, a whisper came from realms afar. A voice inside, faint but true, said, "Tony, this darkness is not for you." He rose that night, his frame so tall, and in the mirror he stood with all. "This isn't me," he whispered low. "I'm more than the pain I know." He stood before the mirror's face and saw the sorrow he could replace. "Enough," he said. "This ends tonight. I'll reclaim my fire. I'll find the light." Through tears and fears, he made a vow, a promise that he lives by now. "Never again will I fall so deep. Never again in a darkness sleep. I'll rise above. I'll break these chains. I'll forge a life that knows no pain. For I am Tony, strong and free, and this dark place will not hold me." He closed his eyes and spoke a phrase that would transform his darkest days. "Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better," he'd say. This mantra strong, his guiding light, became his shield, his source of might. He whispered it through joy and pain and steady rhythm in his brain. Each word he spoke with breath so deep, awakened hope from its long sleep. And with each dawn, the mantra grew, its power in his heart he knew. In time, his strength and spirit soared, the chains fell off, the light restored, and Tony, taller than the rest, stood mighty, handsome, and blessed. His voice, like thunder from the skies, echoed in halls so bold and wise. Godlike in its persuasion loud, it moved the heart of every crowd. He'd speak and minds would stir awake, as though the heavens themselves would quake. "Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better," he'd say. The words would roll with force so pure, a sound that made the weak feel sure. He shared his mantra far and wide with strength that none could ever hide. And from his soul's deep well of fire, Tony ignited the world's desire. He wrote books of wisdom full of grace that spoke of strength of life's embrace. Each book a guide, a beacon bright, for souls who wandered in the night. His books, like Path to Power and Peace, taught how to grow, how fears could cease. In Rise to Your Purpose, his voice clear gave hope to those who live in fear. His seminars, grand and full of might, brought thousands together to find their light. In arenas vast with hearts aglow, he shared the truth we all should know. His voice a flame that none could quell, infectious in its brilliant swell. Crowds left inspired, their spirits high, with newfound wings they dared to fly. From town to town his fire spread, a guiding light for hearts once dead. He taught the world to break its chains, to rise above, to conquer pain. But Tony's mission was more than words, for he knew the power of action stirred. With heart so vast, his mission grew. He sought to help the hungry too. A man of purpose, not just speech, he reached for those who others couldn't reach. He fed the hungry, clothed the poor, his hands and heart an open door. He launched a program worldwide to feed the hungry far and wide. Through lands of famine, drought, and strife, he brought them hope, he brought them life. With every plate of food he gave, he showed the world how to be brave. For Tony knew the truth so clear that giving heals what we hold dear. The power of intention, unstoppable pursuit, and relentless resilience defined this Tony knew. With every thought, with every stride, he charged through life and hope as guide. Years did pass and wisdom grew. Tony found what few men knew, that to inspire, to lead, to teach, you must yourself the highest reach. The doubters came, their whispers loud, but Tony stood unbowed, for he had seen the truth within, the strength that comes when you begin. He shared his mantra far and wide. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better, he'd say with pride. A simple phrase, yet deep and pure, that helped so many souls endure. From stages bright with lights aglow, he told the world what they should know. You have the power, the strength inside to change your life and turn the tide. Repeat with me, he phrased so true, and watch the world align with you. A guru now, both strong and wise, Tony Robbins touched the skies. He taught the world to break its chains, to rise above, to conquer pains. And yet within his heart he knew the darkest days had given him his view. For in the shadows he had found the strength to lift up from the ground. I will never go back, he'd say with pride, for I have traveled that darkened ride. I know the way out of the gloom, and I'll lead the others from the tomb. For every leap, every fall, Tony embraced them, one and all. From humble start to heights above, he showed the world the power of love. So if you doubt, if fear you find, remember Tony, bold of mind, and speak his mantra loud and clear. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better without fear. For in his journey you can see the path to set your own soul free. And with a voice so loud and true, Tony's strength can live in you. Thank you, and go towards goodness.